Hey guys, it's Elisa. Welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be talking about 10 tips, mainly for beginners, but not necessarily, for people that want to microdose at home by themselves for spiritual purposes, for shadow work, self-development purposes. So these are going to be my 10 tips. Let's start with number 1, which is to make sure you do it in a quiet environment. You want to be as comfortable as possible, and you want to be undisturbed. So we're definitely turning our phone off or putting it on airplane mode, doing it in the room that you're most comfortable in your house, whether that's your bedroom, where you're going to be by yourself, home alone, even if you live with other people and you want to wait until a day that you're home alone, that kind of thing. So alone is the key word here. Comfortable, feeling safe, feeling not vulnerable. And so these tips are going to be mostly for people that are doing this for spiritual reasons or self-development reasons. So whether you want to do this to be able to release stored emotions in the body, or for self-healing, or for self-contemplation, or for direct connection to the divine, to higher spiritual beings, not necessarily for people who want to do it, just for fun or casual purposes. Number 2, I prefer to do it on an empty stomach. I know that's not a popular choice because it can cause a little bit of stomach upset or a little bit of queasiness, so be prepared for that. So a lot of people do prefer to take it with a little bit of food, or you can take it as a tea. I prefer a capsule, and I'm okay with doing it on an empty stomach just because it kicks in a lot faster and it has a much stronger effect. But a little bit of food, is not going to hurt. So that's up to you. But make sure whatever room you're doing this in, because I'm assuming you're closing the door, you want to just have everything ready so you don't have to go in and out, especially if there's other people and you're feeling a little bit nervous and you don't want people to see you, while you're doing it, that kind of thing. That's kind of how I am. I just want to be alone. For me, it's a very personal, spiritual journeying. So either empty stomach, small amount of food. Either way, have some snacks on hand so you don't have to leave your room and go to the kitchen. Have a banana, a granola bar, whatever. Always have water on hand. Make sure you stay hydrated for sure. Okay, and for number 3, and this is a big one. Some people like to do it with no music. I prefer to do it with music. Either way is fine. You can experiment. I'm sure, both ways might have like a slightly different effect. For me, I love having spiritual music in the background, not necessarily with earphones in. I put the music on YouTube on my TV, and it depends on what kind of mood I'm in. So sometimes I will put on, and I choose videos that are long, so like an hour or more, so I don't have to be like fumbling with the remote, especially when you're in the first couple hours of your experience. So I'll put on long videos of either people playing native flute, or Buddhist chanting Om. Let's see, what else? Nature sounds. Oh, that's one I absolutely love, like jungle sounds, forest sounds, ocean sounds, anything with water. Nothing really with like voices singing unless it's no words. And my favorite singer for that is Maylin, and I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. She, to me, is 100% a channel. And yes, there's other, spiritual singers that sing without words. So whoever you resonate with, there's several of them, but she just happens to be my favorite. Having her singing in the background, it just completely adds to my experience. And that's a huge understatement. There's not even words to explain it, because in my opinion, especially if you listen to her while using plant medicine, you're going to realize that she's 100% a channel to the angelic realm or something, because it expands my experience like 1,000-fold. But it depends on what mood I'm in. Sometimes I listen to her, sometimes the instruments, native flute, that kind of thing, and sometimes I just want nature sounds, and sometimes I do a little bit of each. I mix it up. So spiritual music is going to have a huge effect on your experience, especially if you're a little bit nervous about it, maybe being a negative experience or having like a bad trip or whatever. The spiritual music in the background, it's really just going to, in my opinion, almost guarantee that you have a good experience. And dosage also, plays a factor. I'm saying microdose, but for me, when I want to do, serious shadow work and self-development and connection, just connection to higher higher dimensional beings in the spirit world, I do a little more than what you would, consider a microdose. I'm not talking about like a huge heroic dose or anything, okay? Just a mid amount, or maybe even a little bit less than a mid, but more than your standard microdose. But microdosing is totally fine too. Point is, spiritual music in the background is going to really add to it. Also, I recommend closing your eyes. It takes the experience from having to look around whatever room you're in and focusing on the 3D to just like a vacuum, just taking you straight, like, I don't want to say things that are going to make you a little nervous by telling you, oh, you're going to be taken out of your body, but your consciousness is somewhat leaving your body. But it's a good thing, right? That's the whole point. And so closing your eyes is it's just going to ensure that you are able to focus a lot easier than if you were just staring at your furniture and it may be like changing shape. That might, freak you out a little bit. So just keep your eyes closed. And on top of that, the other benefit of keeping your eyes closed is you're going to see, if you take a little bit more than a microdose, the most beautiful sacred geometry unfolding and morphing nonstop that you've ever seen. And you might see many other things too. I've seen many other things besides sacred geometry, but that would have to be a whole other video. Have I done a video on that already? I've already done a few videos on this subject, and they're in a playlist under my video tabs. And I'm not sure. No, I have not done a video telling my experiences about like seeing other lives, seeing extraterrestrials, that kind of thing. So I'll have to do a video on that coming soon. But close your eyes, try it. It's going to really expand your consciousness and make it that much easier, and it won't be as rattling. So like I said earlier, you being comfortable is a prerequisite for it going well. Okay, so whatever that means for you, wearing comfortable clothes, nothing too tight. I tend to get a little bit cold for some reason, an hour into it. So socks, having a blanket on hand for sure, comfy pillows, whatever, if you want to be able to squeeze something, having crystals, just experiment for yourself. Crystals, always a positive thing. But if you don't want to be holding something or looking at something and you just want to keep your eyes closed and have a blanket on, totally fine as well. So comfortable clothes, blankets, pillows, socks. In the beginning, I always wanted to be in my recliner in my room. That was just my safe spot. That's where I felt comfortable. I never wanted to do it on my bed. And now that has all changed. And I want to be in my bed because I want to be able to sit up if I want to. And I also want to be able to lay down if I want to, especially because lately I've been going real deep and it just makes me feel safer and comfortable to be able to lay down in fetal position, pull up my blanket, got the music going, close my eyes, and just, I'm gone. So that is number 3. Number 4. So unfortunately, kind of like a dream, when you come back to the 3D and it starts to wear off, you are unfortunately going to forget sometimes a lot of what you were told, what you were taught, what you experienced. Except, there will be some things obviously that you remember, right? The big key stuff, but even that after a couple days can really start to fade. My number 4 tip is to use a voice recorder or just hit record on your phone. Have your phone on airplane mode so you can't get any calls or texts, but you can hit record, and you don't have to do it on show your face. You can hold the phone the other direction, right, where you're just filming the wall or whatever, and just talk into it if there's any key things that you really want to make sure that you remember that you're being taught in this experience or whatever you're experiencing. Or you can use, if you have an actual voice recorder, that works too, maybe even easier than messing with your phone. If you're just doing a microdose and you're able to have the use of your hand and you can actually write, without like your hand being kind of feeling like jello, which is what happens when you're taking more than a microdose, then journal it during the experience. Jot down just the key points or whatever you can get out. And if you're not able to write, that's why I say use a voice recorder or record on your phone. Number 5, the fresher the mushrooms, the better. You don't want to use like really old stuff unless that's all you have. You can grind it, make your own capsules, and or you can make a tea, or you can put it in a little bit of food. Keep it in whatever keep in the stuff that you have left over. Keep in a dark and cool place, in an airtight container. Number 6, this is huge. Set your intentions. Before you start, you're going to first say any words of protection if you feel called to do that. You know, I encircle myself with the universal protection bubble. I call in my spirit guides to be with me during this experience. Whatever feels good to you, but set your intentions. So this can be as simple as, my intention is to release stored emotions. You know, cry, or, you know, that kind of thing. My intention is to connect to my spirit guides, to connect to my higher self. My intention is to connect to higher dimensional beings of other realms, if that's where you want to go. My intention is to heal emotionally, to deal with my addictions, to face my traumas, to whatever it is. Set your intentions. That's huge. If you've got some guts and you've been maybe doing this a while, you can say, my intention is to be shown and to be taught and to be told what it is that Spirit wants me to know. Just be ready, because they might take you somewhere a little bit uncomfortable. It's in my experience, it's never like a scary, you know, aggressive experience. There's something very nurturing and maternal, I guess, with using mushroom medicine. So if you set your intentions to show me what I need to see, kind of thing, it might take you to, you know, the shadows. This is literally shadow work, and the most profound, effective form, a healing modality that I've ever tried, and I've tried a lot of them. So my point is that it might get a little uncomfortable to see, you know, your shadows, or things that you're trying to suppress, or maybe some things that you're doing wrong. It's going to be shown in your face, but in a loving way, because you will learn quickly that when you're connected to the divine, which you are, so obviously when you're working with plant medicine, that it is streaming to you and from you pure unconditional love, which is what you really are. So I don't want to scare you, but maybe work with plant medicine a while before you go saying, show me what I need to see, because you're going to get what you asked for, kind of thing. But it's all in the name of spiritual growth. It's all in the name of personal development. My number 7 tip is to not have expectations. Even though you're setting intentions, let go of expectations, because you don't want any resistance. That's the other part of number 7, is no resistance and surrender. Do not fight whatever you're seeing or feeling or experiencing. That is how you end up with having a bad trip. There's not really a such thing as a bad trip, because there's still definitely something to learn from a hard trip, from a bad trip. But that's what might happen if you end up having resistance. So breathe. You are going to see firsthand how powerful the breath is. They talk about breath in many different religious books for a reason. Breath is so powerful. So use your breath, one of the most important tools that you have in your human body. Surrender, let go of expectations. You will be taken on a journey. You will be taken on a trip. It's literally why they call this a tripping, because it is a trip. So that's number 7. Don't fight anything, no resistance. Just go with the flow and trust. Number 8, which is basically an extension of number 7, and that is to trust in the divine intelligence. You'll learn pretty quickly that you're able, that it's okay to trust in divine intelligence and go where it takes you, kind of thing. Because it will take you where you need to go. Not necessarily always where you want to go, but it will take you where you need to go, kind of thing. So trusting and remembering that you are God. You are of God. You are divine. You're a divine spirit energy that just happens to be in a physical body down here in Earth School. But you are of one whole. We are all one, which is God, which is love. So you are always divinely protected, and your word is your wand. So if you feel called to say the words beforehand, which is totally understandable if this is a new experience for you, just don't have any fear. Call in your spirit guides if you want to. Say your words of protection. I am always divinely protected, and I ask that my spirit guide be with me during this experience, and so it is. And that's it, because your word is the rule. What you say goes, because you are God. And one of the many benefits of using plant medicine and microdosing with psilocybin mushrooms is that you'll see through these experiences that your self-esteem is going to grow. Many different things about using plant medicine is going to make your self-esteem grow. But just seeing that it is very true, that what you say is how it's going to go, and then you'll be like, wow, okay, so I am in charge here. So that's just one of the many benefits of psilocybin. Number 9, have tissues on hand as well, and be ready and prepared to cry. That is a huge benefit of working with plant medicine. It's going to open up your heart center. It may, depending on, depending on how much stuck suppressed emotions you have and how much anger you have and how long it's been and how often it is that you release your emotions and cry. It all depends on how many minutes into the experience it's going to take before your emotions come flooding out, especially if that's your intention. It's one of my favorite things about working with plant medicine because I'm not somebody who cries all the time very often. Stereotypical about being an Aquarius. Everybody's different, right? But so yeah, I don't cry all that often. In the beginning, I could not believe how much was coming out of me, how many emotions were flooding out of me. I was crying for hours. It's not good. We'll just leave it simple. Not good to keep these suppressed emotions inside of you year after year after year. Not good at all. We'll leave it at that. So it's a huge benefit to cry. Number 10. Having patience. This is not a quick fix. And not only that, but things are not going to change in your life unless you take what you've learned during your solo plant medicine journey and integrate it into your life and apply the changes that need to be applied to yourself and in your life. So when you integrate what you're learning, that's when everything in your life will change. Because if you're being taught things when you're using plant medicine, and then when you're done and it wears off, you're like, pish tosh. I'm just gonna keep living my life exactly the same and just kind of, ignore what I've learned. Nothing's gonna change. So be patient. It's not a quick fix, and you need to integrate what you're being taught, what you're learning during these experiences. So with that said, I am not a medical professional, okay? So these are just my tips from my personal experience and my opinions and my beliefs. But if you are somebody who deals with significant mental health issues, schizophrenia, if you have severe depression, that kind of thing, then I would suggest that you find a facility where you can do this under the supervision of a medical professional. And they have these kinds of places all over, from what I've been told, at least in cities. If you live way out in the sticks, you might have to drive into town. So I just wanted to put that out there. If you are somebody who mental health is extremely unstable right now, maybe hold off or do your research, prepare, and or do it under the supervision of a medical professional. Now, another little bonus tip is to take it really easy the rest of the day, okay? Because this doesn't last like all day, especially if you're doing a microdose. So go really easy on yourself. Try to relax the rest of the day. Journal. Just self-care. Eat well. Have a nice healthy dinner. Take some time to process what you just went through, what you just experienced. So have grace for yourself, and go easy on yourself when it starts to wear off for the rest of the day, and the following day, because this is a medicine. This is a tool for you to expand your consciousness, and there's so many benefits from it. I don't want people to be scared. This is just the most amazing tool that I've come across. I'm not You know, I'm not saying that other tools are not helpful. Meditation is amazing, breath work amazing, yoga amazing. I just wanted to help people, especially people that are beginners, or maybe it's been a really long time since you've done it and you're just coming back to it after many years, or maybe you only did it recreationally when you were young and now this is the first time in many years where you want to do it in a serious way for spiritual reasons, and you're older now, but you're like, I haven't done this since I was a teenager or something like that. I just really wanted to give my tips because there's so many benefits to be had. Like, I could do a whole other video, and I probably will, going more in depth on this subject. And like I said before, I already have 3 or 4 other videos in the plant medicine playlist that you can find on my channel. So anyways, I really hope that those tips help you. If you have any tips of your own that maybe I didn't mention and you want to help other people, then go ahead and leave them in the comments. Go ahead and leave any questions that you have in the comments as well. Please don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell or you will never know when a new video of mine comes out. Also, I'm a 5th year developing evidential medium. So if you would like to book a reading with me, which I do over Facebook video call, so we'll be looking at each other, then you need to look at my pinned comment in the top of the comments, and it will have my link to my Facebook mediumship page, which is where you can contact me to schedule a reading with me. So make sure you check out the pinned comment. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys. Bye.